Bears and the Vikings will have just over a 30% chance to reach the playoffs, but the loser will be pretty much done. The Bears' playoff hopes would be down to just 2% with a loss, and the Vikings would be at just 4%. Our Kimberly Martin is live in Minneapolis with the very latest. What do you know, Kimberly?
Hey, Sam. Good morning, guys. Yeah, do not let the records fool you. This will be like a playoff game for both teams, who also have little margin for error. I spoke to Vikings running back Dalvin Cook this week about the sense of urgency within the building and in practice, and he said, listen, I know what's at stake, so expect to see a Dalvin Cook that's playing out of his mind. I live for moments like this, right? Okay, well, Chicago is riding the momentum of their win over the Texans, and Mitchell Trubisky had his best game of the season. Mitch, the Bears, everybody feels like they're in a groove. And when I spoke to Bears return man Cordero Patterson, he told me Trubisky, he's walking around with some swagger. He's walking around like, I'm the guy, I'm your quarterback, and you can trust me. And that's great, right? But here's the thing. The Bears need Mitchell Trubisky to keep playing like he's the guy for the rest of the season for them to get in the playoffs. Sam?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that situation. So, if the Vikings win, they play the Saints on Christmas Day. Let's take a look at our standing. Rex?
Just keep it up here the rest of the show.
Wait. I'm tied with Teddy for last.
Hey, Sam. I'm in the bottom. Dropping, Sam. What you doing, woman?
What you doing? I've gotten lazy. I'm the only one willing to take some risks, apparently, is what we're learning. Let's pick some games, starting with the Bears and the Vikings.
Well, let me take a big risk here, Sam.
You're not going to. You're not going to.
Man, I really do. I'm looking at this game at home for the Minnesota Vikings. You have one team in the Bears that's trying to search for some identity. Week 15 with the running game, where the Minnesota Vikings has already found their identity. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. I need to see the gritty dance in the end zone. JJ, I need to see. I'm going with the Vikings at home.
Yeah, I want to take the Bears, but after they totally botched the handling of Mitchell Trubisky, I don't like him. So I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings.
I'll go with the Vikings and a bounce back from maybe a kicker. All right, Dan Bailey, make some kicks and it'll be a lot easier, okay? I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, this is a tough game to call. I'm going to take the Vikings also because I think if they would have just been better in the kicking game last week, they win that game. Dalvin Cook and company, where they're running all over Tampa. That was an impressive performance, I thought, last week by Minnesota against Tampa. They had some kind of, I would say questionable penalty calls in that game. I'm kind of surprised, but I think Minnesota's a better team than we think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. No doubt about that. Vikings did win in Chicago in Week 10, but I'm actually picking the Bears in this one. I'm with Cordero Patterson. If Mitchell Trubisky's playing with some swag, we know they seem to be fitting their offense more to what he does well in these last couple weeks. And look, their offense had a season high last week. So I'm going with the Bears in this one. Let's get to the 49ers and the Cowboys. This one in Arlington. What do you think, Randy?
Well, it's going to be a big game for defensive coordinator Mike Nolan for the Cowboys. If you've been seeing the San Francisco 49ers of lately at the quarterback position, I need the pass rush with Lawrence and my man Aldon Smith. The pass rush by the Dallas Cowboys have to show up today. One thing that I know facing the 49ers, they don't have Deebo Samuel. They don't have George Kittle. When you send pressure at the San Francisco 49ers, I've seen that quarterback cringe. Mike Nolan and the Cowboys got to get after this team today. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Randy, they don't have a lot of things, including their quarterback, as you mentioned. But when I look at this, two things you can rely on with Dallas. Their poor communication on defense, and they can't stop the run. And so I'm expecting that the 39ers are going to use all the players they have left, use motion shifts and all that, add some confusion to Dallas, and then run the ball down their throat. Give me the 39ers.
And all we've seen all year is the Dallas Cowboy defense inconsistent on their keys. That's what the Niners are great at. They're going to run the ball, have a success. I'm going with the Niners.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the road in game picks, but I'd be ahead of you in first place if I wasn't picking the Dallas Cowboys all year. I've given up on the Cowboys. I think Brandon Ayuk's probably the guy. Bad tackling in the secondary for Dallas, and I think that's a weapon that they'll have a problem with today. I'll take the 49ers.
I told y'all maybe in week 2 or 3 when Dak was still playing, I'm done picking the Cowboys this year. I just have trust issues with them. I'm going with the 49ers. I know Zeke Elliott is questionable, but they've had trouble running the ball, stopping the run, doing pretty much everything. So I'm with 9-4 off a blowout win over the Jets, but 1-3 in their last 4 road games Washington 6-7 after winning 4 straight. Now, there's some big playoff implications at stake, and it's a potential postseason preview today in Washington. The Seahawks are in the first wild card spot in the NFC, and Washington has a 1-game lead on the Giants in the NFC East. And based on the current playoff picture, these teams would meet on wild card weekend. So a lot at stake in this one. Our Sal Paolantonio is at FedEx Field with the very latest. Hi, Sal.
Hi, Sam. You know, Dwayne Haskins makes the start at quarterback for the Washington football team today. And I talked to Ron Rivera on Friday after practice. And he told me his message to Dwayne Haskins was simple. We do believe in you. We do have faith in you. And he said that in practice on Friday, they went through a lot of situational offense, a lot of third down, fourth down, red zone, and goal line. And he said that Dwayne Haskins handled all of it perfectly. But in a classic case of it's much more important to listen to what a coach does or watch what he does than listen to what he says, today, Ron Rivera activated 2 quarterbacks, not 1, but 2 from the practice squad, both not on the flip card. Steven Montez, number 6 in your program, Taylor Heineke, number 4. And Mr. Heineke, of course, has a history with this coaching staff in Carolina. Clear signal, what? That, yes, they have confidence in Dwayne Haskins, but, however, there is definitely little margin of error for Mr. Haskins in this football game, Sam.
Rex, you're laughing about this. Why are you laughing?
Because, did he say it with a straight face? Listen, we have confidence in you, dude. I know we demoted you to the 3rd string, Randy.
Right.
But we have confidence.
Rex, what else is he going to say? What can he say is
You tell him the truth. Say, listen, dude, don't mess it up, okay? We're going to just run the ball. Don't turn the ball over. Put him in red like I did with Sanchez at one time. Hey, if you're 100% sure you can complete it, go ahead and throw it. If not, run with it. That's all we told him. I'm going to promise you. So, yes, that's what he said to him. So much confidence. I believe you, Coach.
How about just ending every possession in a kick? I mean,
amen, brother.
Understanding that a punt isn't a bad thing in this situation. Hopefully it's actually an extra point or a field goal, but probably going to be punts, mainly punts. But still, you got a defensive line on the other side that's so strong that they can actually do the scoring for you. And all those first rounders on the front line, when they go 5 down, okay, a look when they can get one-on-ones all across the board. That's when you got to look out, because right there, we're just saying we're going to put all our guys right there. There's 3 first-round picks right there coming at you, and we're going to get our one-on-ones because we think that Allen, Young, all those guys, include Sweat, we're going to beat you. There's a 5-down look right there against the San Francisco 49ers 5. And that 4 is the 4 first-round picks. Talent, speed, strength, Chase Young coming off. That's Allen right there getting the play, getting the pressure. This is the look you got to look out for, okay? Because when they do it, they're coming. I bet you there's a pot. Maybe there's a pot that says, when we getting 5 down, $100, everybody in. Whoever gets there first gets the pot. I've been in them pass rushing meeting rooms when you got packages like that. They come after the quarterback. That's all you got to do, Dwayne Haskins. Realize what you got, and that's how you play football.
That'd be on a salary cap, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I just give something away?
Violation.
Did I just give something away there?
Another violation for New England.
But I think another thing, Teddy, you showed like passing situations there. I think there's a huge sign of respect to this Washington D-line. You see teams play them in known running situations, 4th and inches, like goal to go, and people are throwing the ball. And it's like, why don't you just run the ball? Because you've been studying that Washington football team film all week, and you're like, I don't like this matchup. I don't want to run the ball. We're trying to throw the ball in basically running situations, just a total sign of respect.
Yeah. Let me talk about this man that we're showing on our TV, talking about Russell Wilson. 2 weeks ago, they faced the New York Giants at home. The Giants put up 5 sacks against the Seattle Seahawks at home. Hey, Russell Wilson took the Seattle Seahawks took the Giants a little lightly. They've been seeing what the Washington football team has been doing as of lately. You talked about Dwayne Haskins going against a guy like Russell Wilson. I want to pick the Washington football team. I really do. Because I love what Ron Rivera is doing with this team. I love what Sweat's doing. I love what Young is doing. But at the quarterback position, we highlighted every single week. I don't think that the Washington football team's quarterback, you're just talking about bringing up 2. So the margin of error for my starting quarterback is definitely slim, but I just don't really have a lot of faith in Washington football's quarterback, mainly Haskins, to be able to lead this team for 4 quarters going against a Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks, where 2 weeks ago they got embarrassed by a defense that they took lightly. They won't take this team lightly today.
Yeah, Seattle, they're starting to realize what's winning. I mean, the defense is getting better. I mean, the run game is also starting to go a little bit. You know, Carson and Hyde, those guys.
Yes.
Seattle one of those teams too. They're getting some momentum.
You mentioned the
and
defense.
Penny coming back.
For sure. And Josh Gordon, all of it's fitting together. I think Seattle's very excited because their defense, since the last month or so, they're number 1 in sacks. They've got 27 sacks. They're giving up 16 points a game. This defense is coming on. At the early in the year, we were kind of making fun of them.
Yeah,
and now they're playing good football.
There's one player that I want you to watch out. We've been highlighting Jamal Adams and him getting after that quarterback Rex. I think he'll have a big day going against a young Haskins.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the defense for Washington, though, does against Russell Wilson today, because you talked about the sacks against the Giants, and then you look at Chase Young's game from last week against another backup quarterback in Nick Mullins. Sack, forced fumble recovery, defensive touchdown.
Pretty good.
He had a little bit of a day. We'll see if he can do it in Washington today. Now let's go to Adam Schefter for Seconds to Schefter. Take it away, Adam.
Well, Sam, we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Josh Gordon, the recently reinstated wide receiver, is eligible to enter the building on Monday and begin working out with the team. He could be an asset for this team in the postseason stretch run here. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars do not have a punter today. Logan Cook was left home due to COVID protocols, so their kicker, Aldrick Rosas, is expected to handle the punting duties for Jacksonville. Dual threat today, Rosas kicking and punting. And the Buffalo Bills not allowed to have fans in their home playoff game, but the governor, Andrew Cuomo, big Bills fan, if he can find a way to get limited fans, he'll do that, Sam.
Yeah, that's just cruel to not have Buffalo fans with how they're playing right now. Now let's get to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Both of these teams are 6-7. Bears off a win over the Texans, and Vikings off that loss to Tom Brady and the Bucs. Look, this is basically an elimination.